I'll never forget the first time someone explained a heat pump to me. And they told me very simply that heat pumps work just like refrigerators, but in reverse. And in that moment, I realized I had no idea how a refrigerator works. So that explanation meant nothing to me. Suffice it to say, heat pumps are boxes that you plug in and they keep stuff at the right temperature. All you need to know is they've been around for decades. I had one in my home growing up in Montreal, Canada, 35 years ago. Okay, they're not new at all. They've been around for a long, long time. There's two main types. There's air-air heat pumps and there's air-to-water heat pumps. Now in my house, I went for an air-air heat pump for two reasons. One, my house is quite narrow. So to be able to get rid of all these radiators and take them out of my house meant I could use the space better. And two, with an air-air unit, you get air conditioning. And my house is quite tall and narrow, so the upper floors get really, really hot. So paying a little bit more to be able to keep my kids cool so they sleep through the night, so I get to sleep through the night, seemed like a very, very worthwhile investment. Now, the other side of it is an air-water heat pump, and that can work with underfloor heating or works with your radiators, and essentially it's the same thing as your gas boiler. It puts heat into water, which goes around the circuit and keeps your house warm. So those are the two main types. Now, you can also combine the two, and we see this anecdotally. I see this more and more with people who have somewhat larger houses. They're worried about the upper floor overheating, so they get an air-air unit at the top, and then they have an air-water unit on the main floor for their radiators or underfloor heating, and also to heat their hot water in a hot water tank. Because that's one thing to keep in mind with air-air. That will do the heating and cooling in your house, but then you need to get a second water cylinder, which will do the hot water for your showers and your taps and that kind of thing. Now, in terms of cost, it's how long is a piece of string, because every house is different. But in general, here in Belgium, what I'm seeing in Brussels is an air-to-air unit is going to cost you anywhere from sort of 7,000 to 10,000 euro, whereas an air-to-water unit would be a bit more, maybe somewhere from the 8,000 to 13,000 euro range. Now, with the air-to-water, you've got the cost of the air-to-air unit, that heating and air conditioning, but then you also have to get that water cylinder in addition, and that's probably another 4,000 euro. That's what I paid 4,400 for my hot water cylinder. So altogether, it cost me about 14,400 euro, tax included, installation included, to get 5 internal units. So that's 1 in each bedroom and 2 on the main floor for all the heating and all the cooling, and then the hot water as well. So one thing to keep in mind when you are going for a heat pump is technically you can heat absolutely any building in Europe with a heat pump. The countries with the most heat pumps are Finland and Sweden and Norway, right? So temperature-wise, it's not a problem to heat your place with a heat pump. It's absolutely doable. It's the installation process that can be a bit complicated. So that's why we're going to do a next episode all about the installation process and try to answer your questions. So if I could ask a favor, please send in your comments and questions. What do you want to know specifically about how to get a heat pump? And then we'll do a whole episode focusing on that and giving you the tips of how to contact your installers, what information they need up front. Listen, with the energy crisis, demand is really high for heat pumps. So really, if at all possible, you want to get that done before the winter hits, before autumn, when the heating season starts, because you're going to save a lot of money that way.